reading out the signals for the Baltimore Colts. Unitas gives to Amici. The Colts are the world champions. Amici scores.
It's amazing, sensational, dramatic, heart-rending, exciting, thrilling finish in the history of college football. California won the big game.
5 seconds left in the game. You believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
This is Phil Steele.
This is Mike Burnham.
This is Wes Durham.
This is Mike Ashley.
Hi, this is Chuck Foreman, number 44 of the Minnesota Vikings.
Woo, mercy, this is handsome Jimmy Vane, the Boogie Woogie Man.
This is Coach Fry with Virginia Tech Football, and you are listening to Big Dog Sports Talk.
Are you ready to rock? Are you ready to roll? Okay, let's do it.
You're in the doghouse with Rick Watson on Big Dog Sports Talk, presented by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Join us in the Family Fencing Studios and chime in on the McClellan Chiropractic chat line. He's keeping cool with help from Little River Heating and Air, but this show is straight fire. And now, the big dog, Rick Watson.
Rick Watson's got the mic, he's the big dog king. Cover sports so sharp, it's a new river thing. Virginia Tech fire, rapid pride too. Every stat, every play, he's bringing it to you. He's got that voice, deep as a valley, breaking it down, no dilly, no dally. Big dog sports talk, feel the bark. He's got the scoop, faster than a sprint. Calling plays like a coach, every word's a hint. From the courts to the fields, the stories unfold. Rick's play-by-play, worth its weight in gold. With a laugh and a growl, he'll pull you in. Big Dog's podcast, let the games begin. Big Dog Sports Talk, feel the bark.
Hey, good morning. How are you? It is the finally Friday edition of the program. Hope you're well. Wherever you might be, hit us up in the McClellan Chiropractic chat room, also on the professional door text line. We have made it to Friday, first day, first week back to work for yours truly. Hope everybody's getting ready for the weekend. as we broadcast live from the Family Fencing Studios. Hit us up. Good morning, Prometheus. Good morning, T-Bird. Yeah, it's been looking at the weather. David Smith and I were talking about this, how the weather is like the first thing. Very small chance of rain today, maybe a little bit more tomorrow, but we do have a drought. It's kind of sad because around lunchtime down at Radford, take walks down by the river, down below the Deadman Center. And the river is so dry, man. It's depressing. You could walk across one side to the other. It's awful. So we do need some rain. Good morning, Low Country. How you doing, brother? Yeah, I saw that. 95 next week. Yeah. But yeah, it's very dry. Very, very dry. It's the lowest I've seen the river in a long, long time consistently. When you go from the shoreline, you could take the time to go out there and put on a pair of shoes, put on a pair of shorts. You could walk from the shoreline down there below Deadman's walking track that connects to Bissett. And you could walk across the rocks and get across to the sandbar, the midway point, and it wouldn't, you'd barely get your feet wet. Yeah, we do. As much as people wouldn't like it, we do. We need a solid week of rain that just kind of saturates everything. You're exactly right. River so low, fish getting a sunburn. Yeah, kind of what it feels like. So all that is going on. Will Stewart joins us, and then he'll be done for about a month till we get into August, which is par for the course with Will here on the program. No Mike Ashley today. Yeah, I know. Mike is traveling, or he was up in Northern Virginia at a golfing event. Not sure where he is. So we'll have Coach Elmo on and then Jen. So we've got Will Stewart, Coach Elmo, and Jen today. Please subscribe, like, and share the channel wherever you might be here on this Finally Friday edition. Thanks to the NRV Super Bowl. Don't forget our bash is set for July the 18th. 540-382-5525. Tomorrow they start their backpack program. Bowling for backpacks tomorrow to give school supplies and so forth. So make sure you take care of those folks tomorrow. Sundown Electrics, the Smith brothers, one of the best reputations of any business in our area. Thanks to Jeff and his brother, great folks. Lawson's Mobile Home Supply, give James a call, 381-8011, 300 North Franklin Street. The Ready Set Fund is Bob Christ, ReadySetFund.com. Read up on it. If you've got, fall football coming up or whatever, and you need uniforms for your youth team, your school team, they can help you out in a week. Just a series of text messages. It's a great program. Text line always brought to you by Professional Door Incorporated, residential commercial garage doors, family owned and operated. 40 years coming up in July. We've got some great announcements to bring you. National Bank member FDIC, the exclusive banking partner of this program. And me, the attorney Ryan Pry, the BDST fan question of the week, trust and estate planning, and England won in our pick of who's going to win the World Cup. U.S. lost last night to Turkey. Little River Heating and Air, 1095 Radford Street in Christiansburg, 540-553-2971. And we're presented each and every day by Pulaski County Sports and Entertainment. Jonathan Sweet just won an award. We'll get him on next week to talk about that. It's good stuff. Good stuff. The river's 5 feet lower than normal. Wow. Hard to believe. Hey, when you come back, bring me my the charger set up. We have the black charger. And I can talk to the wife off camera now. Thank you. From number 16 on Alex's jersey playing in the FIFA World Cup, I bet old hokey Antonio Freeman was watching closely and had 100 fist pumps. BDST is live, yet without a sax player. Argentina. Dingle, my fingle says. Argentina? Okay, that's fine. Every opinion matters here on the program. Don't ever forget that if you're just joining us. What's up, Essa? Essa? Verity? We're getting octopus facts. That's great. Please subscribe. Yeah, Mike does. Mike blazes his own trail. Mike, he's funny. He was showing pictures yesterday of him up at the golf tournament. And I don't want to assume anything, but I believe Mike may have been making sure he was hydrated. The river's been officially renamed to New Creek. Sad, man. It's depressing. Bothers me. We had all these wonderful geese and all these baby geese down there. And now they've gone because the water's gotten too low. It's like, we need some rain. What's up, Low Country? In 8 days, our nation will be. That's right. And, I'm telling you, man, it should be a massive celebration. And, there's going to just be so much focus on people trying to put down the United States here. It's just should be the greatest celebration ever. I can see Mike wearing it. Yeah. With the, what is it? The old, the knickers. Is that what they're called? The pants that come up to your calves with the long socks. He would wear one of the old hats. I know that. One of those. I know exactly what you're talking about. He would look great. Thank you. Thank you so much. All right. Now we're set here. Yeah, he would wear the plaid. Yeah, he would. They would be plaid. Yeah. We need to bring the green back. I always push for it. I always get pushback. But the original plaid was red, blue, green, and white. It looked great. It was unique. We're the only school in the country that had those colors, and now they're just gone. Yeah, dressed like Paige Stewart. Good call, T-Bird. Yeah, I forgot about Payne. Payne was great, wasn't he? God rest his soul. I liked Payne Stewart. I really did. I really did like Payne Stewart. Sorry about that. I just dropped my phone here. Really like Payne Stewart. It's interesting. Speaking of money, sick and tired of, I'm getting tired of unscheduled rant this morning. And I know it's not new, but aren't you getting sick and damn tired of hearing about how you can't keep up unless you give us more money, regardless of what school you're talking about? I'm just getting sick of it. It's like, how much guilt do you try to get across on your constituents if you're a donor, if you're a fan, if you're a season ticket holder, alum, to continue to throw money, just pour your money into our cause? If you want us to succeed, by God, we have to have your money. What kind of a business does that in terms of, like, instead of going out and earning it with what kind of product they have to offer, and you spend money with them because they're good at what they do, like our great sponsors here and the output we get here, the results we provide on this program for our sponsors. But, Virginia Tech, they make this athletic director hire. Oh, fundraiser. Oh, my God. Okay. And it's that way across the country. Well, if you've allowed things in what you're doing to get to this point, you think James Franklin's going to give any of his money back and his salary, any of the assistants? UAD's making $1.5 million a year. And I see this everywhere across college athletics. I just don't care. Just stop making everybody feel guilty all the time that you're behind. Oh my God, do you want us to fall behind? How about you do something internally to fix it? You're all making just an ass ton of money. Instead of just collecting your own checks, how about making something happen? How about doing your jobs as coaches, for instance? James Franklin going to make what? Almost $9 million. He's going to bump up at one point to 12. You got Kirby Smart making almost $16 million to coach a damn football team. How about you, be a good coach and figure out how to win and construct game plans? You always have to have all this money to make sure we have to have a $65 million roster. We can't do our jobs unless we have the highest roster available. This is why it's so unsustainable. Everybody who comes on the show knows it's unsustainable. And this is why. It makes zero sense. These schools, Tech included, they just think everybody is part of the haves in the world, that they just have all this. I don't know about you. I don't have a lot of freaking cash just laying around in the bottom of a drawer that I can just start giving away. If you do, so be it. Congratulations. But I don't know how many of the people who go and think and they have to budget, they want to buy season tickets because they love their school or they love the football program. Okay, let's figure out that weekend. We have to travel. We have to get a hotel. We have to budget for that, right? Just like when you go on vacation. Where are you going next year? I don't know. Let's start thinking about it. Let's pick that destination, and then let's start budgeting for it. They come at you, these schools come at you begging you for money as if we have to have it today or we can't go out and get 2 recruits. How are we supposed to add 3 more bricks to that building unless you give us the money we're asking for today? Do you consider yourself a fan or not? Just shut the hell up and do your damn jobs. How about that? Right? How about that? And these coaches that just continue to run their mouths about how bad it is when they're sitting there living, they probably have 2 or 3 houses. Well, I tell you what, the world we're living in here in college athletics is just not sustainable. Oh, hang on for a second. Hey, thank you. Oh, look at that. There's my check for the week. Look at all those zeros. But anyway, it's terrible, and we need your support. Thunder says that's why the NFL beats college ball. With NFL, we simply buy tickets or TV package and we're done. Well, it's true, and that's gotten ridiculous. Congress has had to get involved in that, right? Because the NFL is trying to gouge everybody. Let's give you 8 different streaming services you have to watch the 2026 season on. If you want to watch this game, you got to subscribe for just a little bit anyway. And you'll probably forget about it, so you get a renewal on your subscription automatically that hits your credit card. It just started to bug me. I was looking yesterday afternoon, later in the afternoon, and on X and all these schools, Tech included. It's ridiculous to me. This isn't like trying to help somebody in need. Let's put it that way. It isn't like finding out somebody had their home burned down or tragic accident and they're having trouble with their medical bills and the community gets around, right? And they want to help somebody because they're just good people. I'm not talking about anything like that. These are schools that are billion-dollar businesses. And they're coming at you like, and me, like they just can't function in any way, shape, or form unless you continue, and I mean continue, to give us every last dollar you can afford. The numbers aren't real, by the way. I was told 4 or 5 months ago, I brought it to the program, individual high up over there in Blacksburg. Rick, it's just a money laundering scheme. I believe that holds as true today as it did then. If the numbers were legitimate, more schools would already be out of business, right? More programs would have been shut down. The spending would have subsided. We'd be seeing reports from schools, okay, this is what we're not able to do anymore. This is how we're cutting back. Instead, we keep giving out record deals to coaches and coaching staffs, to athletic directors. We keep adding incentive clauses. We keep adding to the buyouts. We keep making these facility upgrades that's going to cost X amount of dollars. So the money, in my opinion, that keeps getting begged for on a daily basis, oh my Lord, I believe that's just, they just want cushion money. Cushion money. Just to make sure that nothing that they have gets threatened. So they just want to have more to protect themselves and their own salaries. I saw a story about Matt Campbell complaining about NIL, and the story said he's making $24,000 a day. Yeah, take out Matt Campbell and put in any coach. That's right for me, this 100%. Put James Franklin in there. Put Tony Elliott. Put anybody in there. Correct. Exactly. The lack of self-awareness, and just to think that people, and I guess there are people that just gobble this crap up. Oh, school needs my money. Oh, I must give my school or I'm not worthy. And look, I'm not talking about people that have the means and then some and they want to help out. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about the people who actually give and they've thought about it and they understand what they're doing and they can do it. I'm talking about this constant ask that just, why is it your responsibility constantly? God. Coaches are the last group of people that need to be complaining, given their lifestyle and their net worth. How about you figure it out? You didn't grow up in this era. This era is still relatively new. It sucks. Right? All the money that has to be paid out now because of ad nauseum, we've been over it. Because of the neglect of the NCAA, the lack of foresight, the fact they were hoarding money. We know all the reasons why. But none of these coaches, most of these head coaches at these Power Fours grew up in this era. They had to figure out how to develop players. Evaluation. I saw a great article. And I don't remember who wrote it. I think it was the week I got back from the honeymoon. I wish I would have pinned it to the Facebook page. But it was talking about this topic in a way, about how everybody's just scrambling about the money and pay for play and NIL. It was at the end of the day, it's not going to matter how much money you have if you can't evaluate and continue to develop. That does not go away from coaches who know what they're doing. Yeah, it's true for me. Yeah, they want to complain about the system. You think they would go back to when they were, what did Frank Beamer make, 60 grand at one point? 60 grand. You think they'd go back to that era just so they wouldn't have to pay players? Nah. It's about evaluation. Brent Pry was a terrible evaluator. Tony Elliott has been a good evaluator of talent out of the portal. No matter how much money you spend on a kid or a class, you still have to evaluate them and not just look at who else is recruiting them and how much money they're looking at. Let's look at them. Let's talk to them, bring them in, look at their skill set, right? And that's what we've learned a lot from Todd, the way Todd's going about all this stuff at UAB. And all the different stones are trying to unturn because they're still doing it in a way that we grew up with. They're evaluating, finding fits, people fits, and football fits. And that's the way it's going to go regardless. Look at some of the money. To Texas Tech, they spent the most of anybody last year, right? Did they win a title? Or did they look pedestrian in their playoff game as they advanced? They looked pedestrian. They lost. Did all that money? Let's put it this way. If you're Texas Tech and you put out the graphic last year, you were at that time over $50 million and bragging about it. Now we're hearing that there's going to be $60 million rosters. Only one of those teams, if it's one of those teams, is going to win a national championship. What did that $60 million get them? A spot in the Elite Eight? A position in the new extended playoff in 2 years? Is that enough? If you don't win the championship, what does it matter if you had $20 million in extra pay-for-play money or if you had $10 million? Does it matter? They certainly did, Prometheus. I'm glad you brought that up. Because it really bothers me when people try to say, well, that game was over. It was in the first half, but did JMU stop playing? No. Did they outplay Oregon in the second half? Yeah. Did they score a lot of points? They certainly did. Did Oregon take their foot off? Maybe. But everybody just wants to dismiss JMU in that game. The way that they played that second half is what it's supposed to be about. Guys didn't sit around pout about the scoreboard. They went out and said, you know what? We earned our way here. Let's go out and play. Let's go out and play in the second half. Bob Chesney did a great job getting that team ready for the second half. I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah, empty seats, T-Bird. But people, they know people can't help themselves. We, me, you, all of the fans, we never go away. That's why the NFL's got 8 different streaming services. That's why they keep raising season tickets everywhere. That's why they're going to make you pay extra parking. They're going to raise concessions because you can't say no. It's too much of who we are. They know that. They know that. But how about just coaching your team? How about feeling good about your evaluations and earning your multi-millions as a head coach? Right? What's up, Sammy? Sammy Ramey? Is that the director? The fact that JMU kept playing hard, so Oregon had to put players back in. Yeah. Okay, so maybe they were overwhelmed in the beginning going to Autzen Stadium. A lot of teams are. But they really found their feet in the second half. What's up, Tic Tac? Please subscribe. I'm too old-fashioned to participate. Louisville puts out a graphic that they're going to be $30 million in the red throughout the entire 2027 academic business schedule. As a means to what? Are you trying to draw guilt? Are you trying to say, look, this is where we are. Do you want us to be able to continue? Where's your money? I don't know. Was that a more subtle way or not so subtle way of asking? If you're $30 million in the red, then that is a complete sign of you have the wrong people in charge to run your business. All right? Maybe that's it. Hey, I know, maybe personal responsibility. Prometheus is a contractor, right? Very successful at what he does. People want what he brings to the table. If he was going out and his houses were falling down and his construction didn't live up to a certain standard that he demands, do you think he'd be doing what he's doing so successfully? Or would he have to get out of that business or maybe bring more people in that he can count on to make sure, foreman and so forth? How about maybe these athletic departments don't have the right people in charge? People who have gotten their position because of favoritism or whatever it might be. Maybe you don't know what you're doing within the walls of your own building. How about that? Instead of always trying to say it's the system or it's the players' fault now. I don't know, man. Yeah, I know, Matthew. Yeah. Hey, look how bad we were in our department. We are $30 million in debt before the whole fiscal even starts. Welcome to Louisville Athletics. Does that get your constituents charged up and ready for football season? Or what kind of message does that send? It was calculated. I'm trying to figure out exactly why they did it. And I'm thinking it had to be a push at the old guilt button, right? To their donors, to their corporate sponsors. And it'll come up a lot as we get going in the James Franklin era. With all the things that he wants done, you're going to continue to have more and more money asks come at you. But when did this become the fault of the fans again, the supporters? When did this become the fault? And the responsibility, it almost comes across at times like we're the sole ones responsible for not enough money being around. Because you and we haven't supported enough. This is why we're in the situation we're in. How have you let this happen, people? Right? I don't know. Passing the plate around. TV evangelism. I like that, T-Bird. Always going to your flock for more and more and more. What's up, Wayne? What is Louisville doing about it? They have a football coach making $6.5 million, basketball $3.5 million. Just approved $176 million athletic budget for this year, which of course was the $32 million deficit they showed. Make it make sense. Yeah, wonder how much money Whit and Franklin have donated. Touche. Not a dollar. Roll up your sleeves, work with what you've got, and make your team, good. Wake Forest, comparatively, here you go. Let's use Wake Forest. We'll get. You know what? We're going to get Coach Elmo on this at 7:30. Coach Elmo, if you're watching, get ready, baby. Wake Forest, in comparison, comparatively speaking, they don't have much compared to their larger constituents in their own conference. They don't have a head coach making anywhere close to James Franklin money. They had a low-key search 2 years ago for their head coach. Nobody said a word. Bring in the guy from Washington State. Woo, right? Wake Forest not going out and being able to outbid anybody, and I mean anybody, for recruits. There you go, $85 million for their whole athletic budget. That's for a power school. Wow. And what did that football coach do? He won 9 freaking games in his first year. For a team that was picked dead last in its conference. Andy talks about it all the time. He thought maybe they'd win 1 or 2 games. That team got better and better and better. Nobody wanted to play them as the season went on. Wake Forest has always made it work because you know why? They have had competent people in their athletic department, in particular, their head football coaches. They have always found the right fit with people who come in there understanding the challenges ahead of time and not trying to just continue to poke the money bear. Wake Forest is a prime example, and they're not always going to win, and they're not usually going to be in contention for a championship. But, boy, they're doing things right, aren't they? And I'm not saying it's going to keep them successful long-term in today's climate. That could fall through, and I understand. But, boy, they do have quite a bit of history of success despite not having nearly as much as their own conference members. Wake is like the Swiss. Everybody loves them. If we spend, you will donate. Big Al says. Again, look, we're not talking about like people who have money to burn, like the family gave $75 million to Tech. It's a tax write-off. It's just money they probably had in some bank account they'd forgotten about. I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about the average fan who tries to support as best that they can, and they're just constantly told it's never enough. Look, how can we survive? We can't survive. We can't survive like this. So what if we just paid an unproven 17-year-old high school quarterback who's about to be a senior $2 million to say he'll come here? So what? That's not our fault. That's the market. In our league, the Big South Conference, I get an up-close and personal view of what good coaching looks like because I see teams that clearly we don't have money, budgets. High Point is a separate entity. Yeah, I saw that too, Wayne. What's going on, Bite Nova? How are you? Please subscribe to the channel. Welcome. We are a visitor-friendly program here on BDST. But thanks for stopping by. Everybody who's stopping by, thank you. Love the water promotion, Rick. Are you on a Diet Pepsi detox? I have cut back considerably. Thanks to Wayne, I have a fashionable glass. Still waiting for that Capturing Bigfoot documentary that supposedly disproves Patty. Where is it? Shouldn't that have been picked up by now? Anyway, don't get me started. Maybe I'll save my Bigfoot rant if I go live tonight. Wait, should I go live tonight at 7? What do you think? I'll let y'all tell me right now. You decide. Chat, should we do another pop tonight at 7? I don't want to get into a whole sports thing. I want to just keep it, unless we just want to bitch about stuff. Should I go live tonight? Anybody have time to be on? I miss Coach Beamer too, every day. Bite, we are sports, pop culture, you name it. We are not shock jocks. We don't rip people for their opinions. We don't judge people here. We're all we are a BDST family. We do not tolerate any kind of hate speech. We don't tolerate anybody in chat saying things that are completely immoral. I control that, and you're gone if you do. I'm not going to put up with that in any way, shape, or form. We don't care what people look like. We don't care about people's politics. We don't care, even if you're someone who likes Dave Matthews Band. You're welcome. So I've been kicking around the idea of going live tonight at 7. Dwight says he can be there. And if that's the case, then I'm going to probably just go on. I don't know what we'll end up talking about, but I don't want to get into X's and O's. I don't want to get into, this is kind of the dead period for football and sports in general. USA lost last night. I don't care enough about baseball anymore. They're going to be out to 2027 anyway. It should be like the book club at Oprah. Watch a movie and get back. I like that. Supergirl came out last night. Tonight, it's going to flop tremendously. We can get into that. And to why Hollywood is just a complete and utter disaster. We need Bigfoot experts on BD. Yeah, I do. I need to find a new one. Yeah, Jeff Meldrum, man. Dr. Meldrum, God rest his soul. He was our guy. But it was on twice before, and it's heartbreaking to think about now because I had reached out to him when I started the program, not knowing he was terminally ill, as it turned out. And he was going to be part of the show. He responded to an email. I still have the email. I'll keep it. Hey, Rick, had a great time on the show in the past, something like that. Let me get back to you in another week or two, and we'll try to set up a time. And there was no more time. Shortly after that, about a month later, news came down that he passed away. But if anybody heard his past appearances on the radio show, he was on for an hour each time. Very engaging. The stories, the conversation was really terrific. And he won't be replaced in his research. So yeah, that's such a bummer, man. I don't know, Wayne. I have no idea. They already advanced, though, right? They're already in the next round, so maybe they did. I don't know. I didn't watch a single kick of the ball last night. I mean, it didn't start to like 10:30. I bet Neil Leahy was up. He's actually going around telling people he's only missed one of the World Cup matches. Yeah, why do they need to rest players? They haven't played in a week. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. It's like you get like how much time off between games? Does that make me the leading authority? No, I'm not. I'm still an enthusiast. I'm still fascinated by it. Look, and if this capturing Bigfoot thing comes out and it immediately says and proves, oh Lord, if this thing proves that the extra footage they supposedly found in some vault, some safe 60 years later proves that the whole thing was fake, then I'll be the first one to say, what a hoax, man. Congratulations to Roger Patterson for pulling that thing off for over 60 years. Oh, they had to set players because of yellow cards and all that? Okay. Thunder says, I was going to VT when Coach Beamer was hired, and he did talks everywhere on campus and beyond. When people said Coach made VT, they aren't kidding. Coach Beamer put a lot into Tech to build it right. Yes, so did Jim Weaver. That was a once-in-a-lifetime thing. So, yeah, I'm waiting for that documentary to drop. And then if it's real and if it shows it and you can't deny it, I'll be the first to say, okay, well, there it is. Harryman Road's site, he continues to act like it proved it's a hoax. So I don't know. He's the only one, though. I haven't seen anybody else really go off like he has about it. What's up, Shiva? Here's your shout out. Thank you. Please subscribe. X295. Yeah, and you know, I don't know enough about it for me. I keep talking about that, right? That bothers me too. Like, when was the film? Well, it was marked this. Well, is that just the canister or was that the film? Does that just because the film was dated that way? When was it shot? I don't know. What's up, James? But in any event, I think I'm going live tonight at 7. We're heading into the weekend. Yeah. 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 Shiva, we have 4 subscribers from India. We have 15 countries represented as subscribers. All I know is regarding the Patty film, if you ever watch Jeff Meldrum's breakdowns, and, you know, that guy ended up changing his whole career path because of the things he continued to discover during his research. He didn't want to be a I don't think he was a cryptozoologist. He was one of the most respected people in his field at Idaho State. But man, oh man, oh man. So I want to see it. I will see it. I don't like these sites. They're saying they're not going to see it. No, you got to see it. But since they are claiming this, the direction, show us. You got to prove it now. Now you've got to prove what you're telling us this proves. If all these years, you know, the burden of proof fell on Patterson, then it shifts the other way for these new filmmakers who just randomly found a canister 60 years later. Why, if you're Roger Patterson and Bob Gimlin, why would you keep that around? Maybe they did. Maybe they kept it for prosperity's sake. Maybe they forgot about it. I don't know. But I'm telling you this. If it were a hoax, it is the greatest hoax that we have had. It's the most watched 59 seconds of film in human history. And they made a lot of money. If that's a hoax, then kudos to them. And even if it is a hoax, it doesn't mean Bigfoot's not real, but it is the one piece of footage that has been the holy grail. So, but we shall see. I want to see the documentary. Where is it? You would think Amazon or Prime or somebody would have eaten it up by now. I mean, if it came out in early March, which it did, where we are, April, May, June, 3 full months separated from when. I don't know how long those negotiations last. Who knows? Second biggest hoax was ACC football championship last season. Yeah, should have been Miami in there. I'm with you. The thing that really ticks me off about this Harry Man Road guy, I think his name's Eric something. Anyone who has seen it that disagrees with him, he immediately puts into a category of just people in denial, people who have monetary interest in this. In other words, anybody who disagrees with me, that's wrong, which I hope never comes across that way on this program. You're fine to disagree with me. I encourage it. Will Stewart's going to join us coming up here. Coach Elmo and then Jen. Coach Elmo will tell you that he believes that nobody wants this system to change. It's in place now. You might be right. Yeah, I think I'm going live tonight. People that are asking on the professional door text line. Yeah, I think I am. I heard the money amount asked. Yeah, it's like unbelievable amount. The movie's bad for the biz of Bigfoot. Fighting the Legend is not popular, so no doubt outlets aren't inclined. Well, Netflix and Prime and people like that, they don't care. They're not invested in the whole Bigfoot legend at all. What's up, Christopher Lester? You left coaster, you. Oh, that's all right. Let's pass this along. So Chris sent me a message yesterday. His daughter is getting married in San Francisco. First of all, mega congrats, brother. I have a daughter. She's not married. I'm not looking, I'm not pushing her in that direction. So whatever she decides to do is fine. But I hope everything goes great. I hope the new addition to the family is awesome. And I know that you've probably run him through the routine. But that's awesome, man. And thanks for checking in from Frisco. Give our best to your daughter. Wish her happiness and love and all the good stuff. That's awesome. NIL was paper money found under their windshield wipers in the 90s. Now college football has changed. Correct. Oh my, that's true. Chris Lester wearing a tux with already the unbelievable looking oh wow. He's gonna steal the show. What's up, Jesper? Prometheus says, I'll pray for you being in San Francisco as well. To check us out tonight, 7 o'clock Eastern time here on the United States of America. It'll be Big Dog Pop. And we'll have some fun tonight. Yeah, I think I'm going to go on. What's great about Big Dog Papa is there's not really any plans. Yeah, I'm good, Jesper. It's Friday, so yeah. I just sent to you, Will. You should have it now. You should have it now. But this is fun. This is fun. Fridays are always a little different, especially in the summertime. I mean, I'm not going to get on here and force conversations about the World Cup or about baseball just because, it's sports. You got to stick to sports. Nobody gives a rat's ass. I'm not saying that about the World Cup, but Major League Baseball at the end of June. I don't know how long they're going to be out next year. It's going to be very interesting to see how long baseball is going to be out of function next year. Morris says, Chris, my Popeye U.S. Sailor goatee, brother. Get some flowers to put in your hair. All football. It's the sport of kings. Better than diamond rings. And nobody said it better than Goldie Hawn. Football. 80s movies, baby. Oh, thank you, Prometheus. Some random person stopped by, saw me with a Big Dog shirt and said, where the hell did that show go? Oh, you're on YouTube. Thank you. Yeah, I'm not doing a good job of promoting it because everybody's asking me. They're finding like, where the hell have you been? I've been here for almost a year. What? I'm a horrible self-marketer. Yes, Wildcats. All right. Joining us now on the program is Will Stewart. Will Stewart, yes, you're eating another banana, so your colon just starts raising hell.
I've not had a banana since the death banana.
So Will sends me a text. I don't know when this was, like a few weeks ago. Hey man, I'm not feeling good. I ate this banana and it is just raising. And it's weird, isn't it? Because bananas will do just that from time to time. It's weird.
Man, what the hell?
I don't know.
So to fill the audience in on my gastrointestinal adventures.
Well, yes, people care about you. Well, you're not going to be on for a month after this, so we want to make sure you're good to go.
I ate a banana and it went down and it landed, and I thought, that doesn't feel very good. As it worked its way through my system, it got worse and worse and worse. Man, it was a 36-hour odyssey of just cramping and like that. Man, that thing woke me up 5 times a night that it happened. And I love bananas, and I haven't touched a banana since then.
I don't blame you. And you know what? You know what's funny? I haven't either, just because of what happened to you.
Man,
I'm staying away. Just staying away.
At the time, we had 2 bunches of bananas in our house. We must have had 10 bananas. So we now have 4 loaves of banana bread in the freezer.
Good stuff.
Hey, but before we get into stuff, I got to offer up somewhat of an apology. I was in Chick-fil-A 2 weeks ago today, I think. And I was getting ready to order. I was in line, and somebody who watches your show sort of came up and recognized me from the show and said hi. And I usually engage with people, when they come up and say, hey, I love the podcast.
Yeah.
But I did a poor job of engaging with this person because it was my turn to order. And So whoever that was, if you're watching, I really apologize for not being a better representative of myself and with the show.
Well, that's okay. I think people understand you finally got into your spot in line. You don't want to blow that opportunity. You may never get it back.
Chick-fil-A, man, just the best fast food service,
It's unreal. It's undefeated. In every way, Chick-fil-A is just undefeated. The food is always good, and you're right. And they're always so genuinely nice. I know they go through a training process, but I'm never not blown away by how consistent they are with their service.
So I used to be friends with Eric Kuchin, he and his wife owned that Chick-fil-A. And Eric and I don't hang around anymore, but we tailgated, must have been 15 years ago or more. And, the process of getting a Chick-fil-A restaurant is not expensive, but it's a process. You have to go through a lot of interviews and a lot of gates you got to jump through. And, once you get there, it's a damn gold mine, man. It doesn't matter how big they make those things. Doesn't matter how big they make the parking lot. It's never big enough.
It's never enough. It's incredible. It's incredible. Yeah, my pleasure. My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
So what's on the wall behind you there? There's something new.
Oh, over here?
Yeah, over your left shoulder. Yeah. What is that?
You'd have to be here. But what I did when I went down to Heroes Con, there was this amazing artist there. And it was incredible. And there's 3 pictures up there. So the one in the middle, he did just unbelievable headshot of the thing. It's Kirby-esque. And then on the left side is a Silver Surfer. On the right side, he did Ghost Rider sitting on Prince's Purple Rain motorcycle, like the cover of the album. And I'm a big Ghost Rider fan and Surfer fan. So there you go. I picked all 3 of those up, got a good deal on it. He signed them. So, yeah, that's what that is. That's the new edition up there.
Random stuff.
Yeah. You got to get in here. You got to get in here and check out the decor.
So here's my
oh, there it is. Spidey 20. First appearance of the Scorpion.
Yeah. First slabbed graded comic book. Got a decent deal on it, I thought.
Yeah, they got to be slabbed when you get down to those just gold mine Silver Age editions. You can't trust these grades that people give you on Raws. I learned that a long time ago.
Yeah, I looked it up last night. I own 3,477 comic books, and that's the first one to be slabbed.
Yeah,
and I've got some expensive comic books. I've got the first appearance of the Punisher, Amazing Spider-Man 129, which is mine's probably a 7.0, 6.0, 7.0. It's in good shape, but the spine is a little smudged up.
Yeah.
So that's worth about $1,500. And then I've got Werewolf by Night number 32, which is the first appearance of Moon Knight.
Moon Knight, love the Moon Knight.
The Marvel Batman.
Comics are a great investment. They're better than the stock market, people. Just telling you.
They're not very liquid though. Like my wife is like, you got to talk to the kids because my kids, I don't think they want to own my comic book collection. So when I get old and die 30 years from now, what are we going to do with it?
Right. Yeah. Well, hey, maybe by then you'll decide to early. You know what? Let's go ahead and just drop them for what we can and move on. So maybe. So
anyway, let's talk about the new athletic director. I imagine that's what you want to talk about, right?
Yeah, boy. What are some of your thoughts? Of course, that came down on Monday afternoon. It became official.
Yeah, that's true. And we had the press conference Wednesday morning. He's a business guy. They formed the Hokie Ventures, I think is what it's called, corporation to kind of handle the business side of athletics and be independent of the athletic department and just send checks over. And Brian White, I think it was okay to think that they weren't going to really hire a fundraiser / business guy because Hokie Ventures was going to take care of that. But no, that's exactly what they did. They hired a guy who knows how to shake the trees and get money and knows how to run the athletic department like a business. So they're in good hands there. He's got a good record of generating revenue, and he leveraged the excitement of FAU making the Final Four in basketball into some good donations. And he spoke Wednesday in the breakout session, and Chris Coleman wrote a really good article for us yesterday about this. He spoke about the accountability of the people who are going to be raising money for the athletic department working for the Hokie Club. He wants them to have 10 in-person meetings per week with donors. Think about that for a second. 10 a week, that's an average of 2 a day. And these donors don't live in Blacksburg. There are a few big donors that live in the area, but you're talking about meeting with people who are elsewhere. So this is a job that they're going to travel a lot. Now, I've always, when you talk about the Hokie Club, I've always said, I don't, they don't pay very well. So these people raise millions of dollars. Their best fundraisers raise millions of dollars, and they don't get paid a whole lot of money. It might seem like a money to a lot of people, like low six figures, that kind of thing. But generally, the salaries at the Hokie Club are not, I hear, not very competitive with the rest of the industry. That's why there's a lot of turnover in the Hokie Club, because people get offers elsewhere where they get paid better. So I've always said, why don't they compensate people on a percentage of the money that they raise? Commission. And I've been told that that's just not the way the salary structure works. There's some restrictions, state school, blah, blah, blah. So there is I don't know if it's a theory or if it's a fact, that through the Hokie Ventures mechanism, which is independent of the university, that they are going to reward their best fundraisers in a way that's outside of their regular compensation. So that's pretty cool to hear. He's going to work people hard, but I think they're going to be incentivized and rewarded for success. So it's all about the money, Rick, and that part of it sounds good. Now, what we don't know is, can the guy hire coaches? FAU, once Lane Kiffin, he inherited Lane Kiffin down there, and once Lane Kiffin bounced, FAU wasn't very good in football.
26-41.
He hired Willie Taggart. Who hires Willie Taggart?
Yeah, he had to fire both of his coaching hires in football.
Yeah, that's just that's a bad look. So how good is he at hiring coaches? Because Babcock had his flaws, but he was really good at hiring coaches. He made one or two mistakes,
except for football.
Or
at least one out of two. He on paper he made the right hire with Fuente. Yeah.
Fuente was a coup, man. He was the hot prospect. He and I think Tom Herman was on the market at the same time back then, and or they were like a year apart.
Yeah, I think so.
But Fuente on paper was a great hire. He wasn't properly supported at this level, and he didn't really have the I don't want to say personality. He didn't have the overall makeup to run a large football program, especially without proper support. So, Witt's hired some great coaches, man. He hired Pete DeMoore, who's a great coach. He made the decision to promote Tony Roby, and look how good that guy is. So how good is Brian White at that kind of stuff? Because that stuff matters, man. The Jimmies and the Joes are important, and that's where the money comes in. But the coaching matters also. So, let's circle back around 5 years from now, and Brian White's warts as an athletic director will be highly visible, just like anybody after they've been in a job 5 years. They're like, they're really good at this, and they're not really good at that.
Correct. Yeah, 100%.
He is, by the way, younger than Chris Coleman. Chris Coleman is 43. Brian White is 42.
Oh, okay. All right.
He is young. How old are you?
Well, I'm not going to mention my age on the show, but older than that.
You're one of those people that, like when did you start shaving the head? You're completely shaved there, right?
Back when I started fighting, my early 20s.
You've been shaving your head since your 20s.
Yeah, you shave your head because if you have thicker hair and perspiration when you get hit, the more sweat beads that moisture comes off your head, you get points taken away. They think the shot was a little harder than it was, right? So you keep your head shaved because, yeah.
What kind of fighter were you? Boxer or?
I boxed. Yeah, for 7 years. Yeah, I boxed for 7 years. I went 16-1.
Man, that explains
I
a
did.
lot.
Fought out of Roanoke. Yeah,
It does explain a lot.
Yeah. At the end, I was kind of having some dropouts. And at the end, I'm like, "Am I going to take this any further?" No, I think I'm done. The last fight, I got beat, and I don't remember a lot from it. So that was it. That was my calling card to get out. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So anyway, you've been shaving your head since you were in your 20s, and so you're going to look. There's a time period of like 30 or 40 years where you're going to look
long time.
Yeah. And Chris Coleman's the same way.
It won't change a whole lot. Yeah, it won't. And when I tried out, I know Chris looks great with his. Chris was on the other day. I'm like, man, it looks so good on him. It does. It looks great.
Well, so he's going to basically look the same for the next 10 or 15 years. It's like the one guy that has hair and who looked the same for decades was Steve Martin. Steve Martin had that gray hair.
I know.
Back in the 70s, and until about 10 or 15 years ago, he looked the same for a long time.
I know. Where did that come from? Yeah, it's crazy. He had the white hair early. He said it was a family thing. He said he just let it come in because it's what his family he dealt with it when he was growing up. Everybody in his family, all the guys in his family, the hair turned white. And there you go.
Yeah, one of the guys I roomed with in college was going gray in college. So it was an interesting thing.
It's wild, man. It's wild.
So anyway, if you think about, you just look back a year ago, Brent Pry was the football coach. Tim Sands was a school president, still is for a few more days. Well, he's going to hang around until they hire the new one. But Babcock was the athletic director. And we had the BOV was pretty much the same, but there's just been a huge amount of change in the last year. All of it's been good. And it feels like it's not real because these are the things that on the message boards and in articles we bitched about for years about how they needed. We didn't really complain a lot about Pry as a football coach. You didn't have to. You can kind of see it.
Results were there, or not there.
We really started developing an issue with Babcock probably about 5 years ago. COVID really took a chunk out of Whit. He was never the same after COVID, and he had a series of gaffes and errors, and he generally went into his shell as time went by, and he was just caught off guard and not equipped for this modern era of college athletics. We've been talking about that stuff for years and talking about how the Hokie Club needs to be revamped and restaffed.
Yeah.
All of that stuff, how Virginia Tech was a sleeping giant in fundraising, in money generation. These things are all changing, and this is all good, but there's part of me that just doesn't trust it and doesn't believe it. That doesn't mean I'm not optimistic about things, but I'm just a little gun shy after 15 years of basically 6-6 football.
You got to stick the landing.
Yes, yeah. I mean, the table is set now. You got to sit down and eat, right? Got any more metaphors and similes we want to do?
Yeah, that's exactly right. Exactly right. Prometheus, what does Will think about the hire? Was it based solely on his family and philosophy? What I know about the hire, oh my goodness! But was Matt Run a real candidate? Yeah.
I don't really know anything about the hire. I've just been told he's basically Franklin's pick. But what they said at the press conference is, I think, one of the questions I had was, did Brian White reach out to Virginia Tech, or did Virginia Tech reach out to Brian White? And I don't think we got a real square interview on that, because the way the question got answered was, we had a search firm that helped us, So I think that Lynn Dowdy, who was in charge of I think that's her name, she chaired the search committee. I believe she said there was a list of 30 candidates. And they really liked Brian White's business background, and he said that when he looked at the list of people on the search committee and the people involved in Virginia Tech athletics, he saw a lot of business acumen there that he was really impressed with. So that spoke to him. So, what is the truth? Why did this happen? That's what they're saying publicly. Why? What do you hear?
I don't know. I haven't decided. Knowledge is both power and it's also a curse. I have to decide how I'm going to handle what I know about it.
Okay. Well, you and I can talk offline about that.
Yeah.
I've been busy and haven't had a chance to get back channel type stuff.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it all works out. In the end, we shall see.
It's not that far away, man. It's almost July, which means it's almost August, which is when football season starts, and we're right back at it.
It is. Yeah, we'll go through July. We'll think we have a month to go, and then you're right. Yeah, we'll hear about guys getting there and working out and then practice, and here comes speculation on this program. How's this team going to be and all this, and then it comes down to just making your team better for 2026. And that's what my focus is going to be on. And it feels like James Franklin's focus is on that too, in terms of, because he hasn't been speaking a lot of great things about his team. I like the fact that he says, hey, we're not very good right now. That's what he said over at the event with the chamber. Folks, we're not a good football team. We're getting there. We think we're going to be okay, but we got a long way to go. I like that. So yeah, it'll be here. Yeah.
He has been managing expectations. He's putting a lot of talent on this team relative to the talent level the last few years, but it's young, so it's hard to say what they're going to do. I know that probably the biggest shock Virginia Tech fans are going to go through this fall is watching a quarterback who can drop back, read the field, and throw an accurate pass.
I know, right? Yeah.
And I don't mean to speak ill of Kyron Drones. Kyron was what he was, and I had an issue with how they used him. Kyron could have been an effective college quarterback, just like it's funny. Literally a minute ago, I was thinking about South Carolina, and Lenoris Sellers was poorly used last year. Let me rephrase that. He can be a more effective quarterback than what he was last year for South Carolina. And Kyron Drones was the same way. They used him so effectively in 2023, and then they botched it in 2024 and 2025. They could have had a better offense than what they had, And anyway, so that's not to speak ill of him. That's just those were his limitations as a quarterback.
You know what? Exactly. And I said this earlier in the week. Well, it's funny you say that. I don't have anything against Kyron Drones. I thought he played hard. He wanted to be good. He just wasn't. He was not a good collegiate quarterback. It's okay. It's okay. He just wasn't.
I group him with Al Clark.
Al Clark. Yeah.
Clark would play on one leg. He
would.
Al Clark was a bad quarterback who was a warrior.
A warrior, man. I know.
Al had the talent of always playing well against Miami. He picked his spots. And one thing I was looking at was we were talking about. I don't remember how this came up, but we were talking about the Clemson game back in 1998 when Virginia Tech. 98. It was 98. Yes, when Virginia Tech went down to Clemson and beat them 37-0 at Clemson. Al Clark was 7 of 26 passes. I looked it up just the other day.
7 of 26?
I remember one time I had a hold of the tape that was it was all of the plays from that game with the commercials and the dead time edited out. And I put it on fast forward, and it was hilarious to watch Al Clark drop back, throw incomplete, Al Clark drop back, throw incomplete, run the ball, throw incomplete, run the ball, incomplete. It was hilarious. That's when I was like, oh, he was awful that day. So, Kyron was the same way, man. He played hard, and left it all out there in the field, played hurt a lot, just wasn't a good quarterback, wasn't a good Good athlete, good hard player, good hokey, but just not a good quarterback in the end.
Take Mike Vick out of it. Who's your all-time favorite Tech quarterback? Eliminate Mike Vick because that's too simple. Who would be the next guy? If you had one thinking back when you were starting Tech sideline or there when you're going to Tech, who stands out? Who's your favorite quarterback besides that guy? Because he's everybody's favorite quarterback.
You know, most people would say Tyrod Taylor, but he's not my number two guy. For me it's a fist fight between Jim Druckenmiller and Brian Randall.
I love Brian Randall. Yeah, good dude, man.
Druck was, Druck certainly had his flaws, got himself in trouble, and but he was a linebacker playing quarterback. He was a true team leader. He meshed with that entire team. He was tight with George Del Rico, quarterback who hung out with a linebacker. And Jim Druckenmiller was a great college quarterback.
He was.
And he was exactly what they needed at the time. And the thing that I always recall about him was, as good as he was his senior year, they went into that Orange Bowl against Nebraska way overmatched, and that was the best game Druckenmiller ever played. You go back and look at the stats, there were also a number of drops. He was on the biggest stage against the best team he played against his entire career. He played his best game, and that's how he went out. Brian Randall was a guy who, at the end of that 2003 season, Virginia Tech had tanked at the end of 3 straight seasons, and they needed a culture redo. Going into the 2004 season, Marcus Vick got dismissed from the university, so there was no quarterback controversy. You knew Brian Randall was going to be your guy, and he was a true team leader in a different way.
No doubt.
And the Brian Randall, Brian, one of the things I remember that most people don't remember is about halfway through his senior year, Brian was not, I'd say about a third of the way through his senior year, he was not a good college quarterback. He was okay. And early that year in 2004, they played West Virginia at home. And Tech beat them. But there was a play in that game where Randall dropped back, threw a terrible interception, pick 6. And I don't remember this, but I've talked to a guy. I was sitting next to a Hokie Central fan, a Tech sideline fan at that game. And he says that I turned to him and said, well, I guess Brian Randall's just never going to be a good college quarterback. And that was the last bad game he played. The rest of the season, he, I think, threw 10 touchdowns against 1 interception. He just caught fire.
Yeah.
And was a great quarterback for the rest of the year. And God bless him, I will never forgive him for one pass he made in that Sugar Bowl against Auburn. He had a guy running back across the back line of the end zone wide open, and Randall overthrew him. And that was a game that was tight enough. That was that Auburn team that went undefeated and had I don't remember who the quarterback was, but they had some great running backs. And Brian, unlike Jim Druckenmiller, Brian didn't play his best game in his last game.
Right.
But anyway, that's a long-winded.
No, it's good.
The question, a lot of storytelling, but I never. I think Tyrod was a really good college quarterback, and certainly he had some memorable games and memorable plays. But there was something about him that I just, as a fan, I just never connected with Tyrod like a lot of people did, and that's okay. I've never had a chance to meet the guy. I've had a chance to meet Michael Vick and talk with Michael Vick. And I like Mike a lot more, having spent 10 or 15 minutes talking to him and talk about his life. This was just a few years ago, so it was after he went through everything.
Absolutely.
And I was just really impressed with him and enjoyed talking to him. Never had a chance to talk to Druckenmiller. I'd love to one day. I think last I heard he was in Memphis. He's in Tennessee or something like that. But that's a guy I would love to have on the podcast. Although
it would be, he'd be good. Yeah.
So I'm friends with, of course, I'm friends with Bev and Richie Davis. It was Bev that defended Druckenmiller in his trial in 1998. So Bev told me some stories. And of course,
Yeah,
if you live
I'm
around
sure.
here, you've
Yeah.
heard. If you live around here, you've heard some Druckenmiller stories. He and
Absolutely. Yeah.
He and Del Rico would go out of the town looking for trouble.
And they found it quite often, from what I understand.
If they didn't find it, they created it.
They created it. So what are you doing in July now? You gonna be are you guys going out now? You got the house in order? You guys going to travel anywhere, or what's going on?
Well, there's no money to travel anywhere because
that's true. Yeah.
Getting into a house is a financial bloodbath. So, yeah, we're pretty much in here. There's a few things I got to do, but so the big thing I'm waiting on is we're waiting to see if we're going to be able to launch our new website before the start of football season. I don't think we're going to be able to because it's our first significant revamp in over a decade. And it's really critical to our operations, but the guy who's handling the programming for us, I just don't think he's going to be available enough. He's going to be able to get it done. So I'm just kind of sitting and waiting on that for the month of July. But no, not doing a whole lot. So let's get together and hang out, man. When's the next comic book convention?
Yeah, man. Let's do it. Yeah. I guess it's the one in August, right? Is that the one down at Big Lick? Don't they have theirs? Is it August? Maybe early August, late August, something like that.
I think so.
Something like that.
And there's also that one in Salem that's just straight up comic books. It's not cosplay and toys.
Yeah. That one's good too. Yeah, that one. Yeah,
that one's good. And then I don't know if there's one in Charlotte or not, but I got to pick my spots.
Yeah, exactly. Only big one. Yeah. It's true. Yeah, you got to be careful.
So,
you got to be careful.
I get the impression you dropped a lot of money at Heroes Con.
I made a lot of money. I sold some stuff. So I made a lot of money, so I could buy some stuff. So yeah.
Okay, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
I'm in a position where the money only goes out; it doesn't come in.
By the way, are you going to be at the Bash July 18th at the Super Bowl? Jen's asking.
What's a bash? You got to tell me about it. I hear you talking about it, but I don't know what's going on.
Saturday the 18th, we're going to have a bunch of people over. Coach Elmo's going to be there. Burnup's going to be there. We're going to just hang out at the Super Bowl over in Christiansburg. We're just going to have people, going to have lanes reserved. We got a room reserved. We're just going to meet and hang out and have a good time, bowl, tell stories, beverages, food.
That is Saturday, July 18th?
Saturday, July 18th. We're thinking around 6 o'clock it's going to start. On the 18th.
My schedule is wide open.
Hey, we're going to count that as a yes for Will to be there at the Super Bowl.
Is Jen going to make it into town for that?
I think she's contingent on you. So, yes, we're going to say now because you're going to be there. She's coming. Jen, we'll see you on the 18th.
All right, I will show up and take one for the team so I can get Jen to show up.
You got to be there. Okay, I'm going to let this happen now before we let you go because you mentioned this earlier. Coach Elmo, Will Stewart, Coach Elmo. What's going on, brother?
We have met before. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well. Thank you. I always enjoy the segments with you and Rick. I really do. I think you guys do a first-class job of representing Virginia Tech. I think it's a lot of credibility, Chris and Andy particularly. Andy spent time with me on my resume, and we all have a lot of things written about us, and we're sitting there going, I never said that. It was so spot on, the interpretation. I was so impressed, and that's the first time I ever met him. So you're lucky to have that guy. I think that's me because from a firsthand experience with him and dealing with the, sensitive issues to a point, and he was very, very honest and true with the thing that he did. So really cool.
Good, I appreciate that, and I'll pass that on to him. So, Rick, to fill in the blanks there, Andy did a long interview with Coach Elmo that was probably 2 years ago, I think. Maybe
Yeah,
3
3 years ago.
Coach, you came into our office and you sat with Andy for what must have been, I don't know, hour and a half.
It was 2 hours.
It took Andy forever to transcribe all of that, and he really struggled with how to structure the article. And so we're just kind of looking at him like, dude, that's Coach Elmo's stuff. You got to get that written. And he's like, I'm working on it. So it took him a while.
Well, it was so accurate in terms of, sharing your experiences. You know how you sit there and you go, I never said that. It was like, wow. And people ask me, say, you need to write a book. Well, if I ever did, he'd be the guy who would write it.
Yeah,
trust
absolutely. Coach, where do you live? Like, are you around here?
Little River, North Myrtle Beach.
North Myrtle Beach. Okay.
And I usually come up. I get up there quite a bit more than you would know. I do Greg Roberts when I'm up there. I'll be in the studio because I love fishing the New River. That's my number one love, and outside of my wife.
Yeah, I was going to qualify.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, she's always listening, so But so I get up there quite a bit.
We both have Janet's. Yeah.
I'm going up. I'm going to go to the Hockey Club thing. Chuck Baker at Haley Toyota.
Yeah.
Really good friend of mine. Great guy. He's been so nice to me. I've gone the last 2 years, and he invited me back up to join him at his table, and because he's a big contributor and a big sponsor of that. So I'll be up there the 13th, and then I got to turn around and come up and go to Rick's Saturday night deal. So
that'll be great.
So hit us up when you're in town. Hit Andy up or hit me up. I think you might have my phone number. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I do. I have your phone number.
Come into the studio and do some podcasts with us. We'd love to have you on set.
That'd be fun. Yeah, I think still. Pardon?
I said the chairs are comfortable. You can just hang out and talk.
Yeah. Well, one thing about it, I've been so proud of myself on Greg Roberts' show. I have not dropped one F-bomb or profanity in 10 years, and we've won the best sports shows and radio show in the last 10 years. So it's been phenomenal on my part. So I'll be good.
You know what? I think it was, I do remember when Andy interviewed you, there were some discussions about, Andy came in, he said, should I leave the profanity in or should I take it out?
He did.
I think in the end we left it in.
Oh, yeah. Which is good. Fine with me. Profanity, it's kind of like Bobby Knight. It paints a picture. If Art Baker, I coach at East Carolina with Art Baker. Now, Art Baker was a big time, genuine FCA fellowship Christianship athlete guy. I mean, he was genuine about it. There were a bunch of phonies that I coached, been in this business with. They carry the FCA Bible around, but this guy was his true blue. And he mentioned to the staff, I had left. He became the head coach at East Carolina. When I went to Minnesota with Coach Schultz, he had a staff meeting, and he said, I want no cussing on the field. The only football coach I would ever allow cussing, and he's not here, is Coach Elmassian, because it's who he is.
Don't ever change.
It's not gratuitous. It serves a purpose, is what you're saying.
It serves it paints a picture, like you get fast.
So, hit me up. Come by the studio. Guys, I got to run because I'm doing a podcast this morning with, I don't know if you know these guys or not, Coach. I'm interviewing Doug Waters, who I don't think you would know.
No.
Chris Colston, who used to run the Hokie Huddler. Does that name ring a bell?
No, not really. Maybe, probably. I tell you, your podcast with Bud Foster.
Yeah.
And the one you did with Greg Roberts years ago was I just really enjoyed them. It was very informative / entertaining and I think when you talk, especially Bud, where you can get the truth and what the picture really means in terms of his experiences. That was excellent. Excellent.
Chris and Mike Ashley are good friends, by the way. Chris Colston and Mike Ashley are Chris Colston and Mike Ashley are really tight. Yep.
Oh, cool.
Okay, I will bring that up. Yeah, Bud's great. Like I say, he's got a little key. You just wind him up in the back and he goes.
Oh, hey, people said, they go, why'd you leave Virginia Tech? I said, so Bud could have his career. He was a whole lot better football coach and coordinator than I ever wanted to be, you know.
And I appreciate you mentioning Greg Roberts, because Greg can tell stories, man. He's a storyteller. We need to have him on again as well.
Yeah.
You know, when I got out of coaching, living in Roanoke, I turned the show on, kind of like what I did with Rick, and, you know, and it was like, wow, this is really good. I mean, he's so positive with Southwest Virginia, not a high school, the colleges, and it was a real positive message and giving recognition to the people that, you know, worked hard and had successes in the Southwest Virginia. Like even Rick's show, I first turned it on was with Marty and Coach Rags, and it brought me down memory lane of all these years that I had spent at Ferrum and Virginia Tech and in Southwest Virginia and recruiting Southwest Virginia. So it was really, so that's how I got involved with this show. It's a lot of fun for me listening to, you know, all the high school coaches back in the day that were just influential in my career, not just let alone recruiting, but learning from them. You know, the best coaches back in the day, I thought, were the high school coaches.
Yeah.
They were the true teachers.
Well, appreciate you, Coach. Always love listening to you. And like I said, hit us up when you're in town.
I will. It'd be an honor. I'd be honored to be on your show, and I mean that word. I use that word.
Nice.
I
appreciate
genuinely mean it. Yeah, it would be. Thank you. I appreciate
All right.
it.
I gave
okay, cool.
Hey,
you take care, buddy.
I hope I see you before August, Will.
I will. I tell you what, I'll commit. I'll be there on the 18th. It's out.
All right. There you go.
Geez.
There you go. He'll
All
be
right.
there.
Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Be good. All right. Will Stewart from Tech Sideline. There you go. Good people. There you go. What's up, Coach? Thanks for filling in on a Friday where Mike Ashley was out. I don't know. He's up there golfing. I don't think he golfs, but he hangs around golf courses. So, you know.
No, I'm glad to come on. You know, I listening to with Will. It's funny you brought up Al Clark, and that brought back a memory. I'll never forget. It was like in the fall of '94. Our JV teams, Virginia Tech JV teams, played Fork Union, and that's where Al was playing quarterback at Fork Union. And Brian Steinsping was recruiting Fork Union, or at the time recruiting Al. And we're one, you know, and I'm out there watching, you know, trying to who's got the best, talent, and on Fork Union, who should we recruit or at least offer or whatever. And I'm standing with Brian, and there was questions about taking Al Clark at that time. And there were, you know, he had a heck of a career, much better than a lot of people anticipated. And finally, Brian goes, geez, Phil, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think? I said, Brian, if you're not going to recruit him, don't offer anybody at Fork Union. He's the best athlete out there. I said, I'll take him as a safety if it doesn't work out at quarterback. Take the kid. And that's true. That's exactly how we got him. And Brian, they ended up taking him, which I thought was a really good get at that time.
Yeah, I think Will described him perfectly. He wasn't always the most precise passer, but boy, the guy was a competitor, wasn't he? Always.
Well, he had, you know, he like I said, you look at the liabilities and you look at the asset. I would have taken him as a safety without a doubt, and I think he'd have been a heck of a defensive back. I really do, for what we were doing at the time and the type of kids that I've always looked for back there. Smart guys, tough guys. I always wanted problem solvers and people when the crap hits the fan, they could handle the adversities and embrace them, because you have to in that position, because, you know, it takes one play and game over back as a defensive back. That's running and throwing. As far as what your responsibilities were as a defensive back. I was so fortunate in my career. Janet asked me, she goes, how many NFL guys have you coached? I started thinking about it. You know, I was lucky. I was able to coach 3 first-rounders, you know. But I was so fortunate at every place I've been that not only were the guys talented, they had talent. They had enough. I always said, just give me enough. How much talent do you need after a while? Make sure he has enough. And then this is why it's the greatest game in the world. As you well know, Rick, you well know more than anybody with your experiences with Pulaski High. You didn't have some of the best talent in the state,
No.
but you're winning state championships. Why? Because you had enough talent, but the intangibles, which the game is still, the commitment and the dedication and the handling and the mental toughness, besides the physical toughness, there's not a game like it played in the world. And that you could take your intangibles and rise way above your talent to have success. And you could.
100%.
I was fortunate. I was able to coach those guys. And a lot of guys ended up being NFL players that when they're coming out of high school, they didn't get drafted in the Army. And that's not me. That's why we took the kid. That's why I put him on the field, because he's a winner. Coach Norton, is he a winner? And that's not just on what the scoreboard says. That's off the field. Look at his parents. Is he winning at everything he does in his life? That things he prioritizes the right way to make his family proud and serve purpose and unselfishness. And those are the qualities. I don't give a crap how much money you got, Rick, and you're going into your conversation. You better look for those things.
Yeah, 100%. That evaluations. Yeah.
You better evaluate it. And it's funny, Rick, when you guys were mentioning it, that, the thing that we used to talk about, the toughest opponent we always used to face is time, because everybody had the same amount. You can't crap the 25th hour. And whether you got 8 hours or 6 hours or 4 hours or 10 hours, what are you doing? It's not the matter of time. It's what are you doing with your time? Where is your commitment and nobody used time in terms of efficiency and accountability better than Nick Saban. Nobody. An 8-hour day was 24 for some people.
Todd says the same thing about Saban.
It was every minute of the day was accountable. Trust me, it came down to the minute. You were there 7:30, and it was clockwork every day. It was Groundhog Day every day. And you start looking around now the opponent you got now is the money. That's the toughest opponent you're facing right now, is do you have the finances to compete? And then there's sometimes you got to sit there, just like in business, you got to cut your losses. You got to sit there and go, okay, I'm going to put a cap on this kid. Here's what we're going to offer. Here's what I think his value is, and maybe a year or two from now, here's what his value should be and would be. But right now, this is what we're going to give him, because this is where his value is. And I'm not going a penny above it. I'm not. And I think that you got to be able to do that today.
Do you think coaches are losing not the ability, but the desire to evaluate and develop, just because, like you said, it's all about money and they keep on? You think coaches are like, because they make so much money, are they passing the buck? How do you've been you went to all these camps and you saw it up close and personal, where you're going to Mexico and UAB, all these stops you made, South Carolina. Do you think coaches are losing that natural, innate drive to evaluate because of the money?
Well, there's, the ones that do, if they do, they're definitely going to lose. If they do, they're going to be fired. That's for sure. Now that is I don't care how much money you make, you will get fired faster than ever before. From that perspective, because those things still, when you look at, I made my list of schools, Rick, after listening to your conversation, who's doing more with less? Number one guy for me in the ACC is Wake Forest.
There you go. I know.
They won 9 games. I don't care if they played 7 of them with Division III. I don't care. It's Wake Forest. Okay.
Yeah.
And that's always been one of my favorite schools. You know, back in the day when Al Groh was the head coach there, and we had a lot of Ferrum players play at Wake Forest. Well, Coach Norton was one of Coach Norton's favorite schools, small private school. But, you know, you look at Wake, you look at Georgia Tech, what that guy has done at Georgia Tech to win 9 games. You know, 9 is the magic number for me. It used to be 8, but with the 12th game and potential bowl playing 13, now it's 9. You know, 8-4 does not sound as good as 9-3.
No, it doesn't.
8-3 used to sound really good. Coach Norton always used to say the happiest coaches in the world are 8-3. You get to keep your job.
That's right.
Go to a bowl.
That's
and
right.
Maybe if you win 9 or 10, and maybe, you know, like at Syracuse, we went to 2 New Year's Day bowls back to back. And then that was the ultimate goal in coaching, get to a New Year's Day bowl. Now it's going to be get to the championship, get in the 24, get into the playoff. And that's what the standard change.
Yeah.
And you look at Iowa in the Big Ten, that, you know, Iowa, where they do, you talk about more with less. This guy's 8-9 wins every year, been there for 27 plus years. Phil Parker's been his defensive coordinator. He's ready to pass Bud in terms of longevity. He's been there for 27 years with him. And then PJ Fleck at Minnesota, like him or not, his personality.
He's a good coach.
I coached at Minnesota. Let me tell you, it's like, whoa. Talk about recruiting. And he's an 8-win guy here. Then you look at Utah, the Big 12, Arizona State, and the SEC, Vandy, Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got finances, but it ain't Texas. And Brett Venables, to me, is a heck of an evaluator and one hell of a coach. He's underrated. Those people better be happy at Oklahoma they got him, because they would love to have him back at Clemson. Trust me. Before he got there, Clemson was Clemson. It was a regional school. While he got there, it became a national school.
Yeah,
when he left, it's back to a regional school. That's the missing link in Clemson right now.
Dabo hasn't recovered, has he? That's a great point.
He affected the program. Believe me, like I had my effect on Virginia Tech. I wasn't the reason, but there was an effect factor, which permeated in the program. I've always said the defensive coordinator, your hiring coordinator can affect a program just because of the beast of the personality and the defensive personalities you have. It affects your team. Where an offensive coordinator can affect the quarterback in the offense, and that's as far as it goes. Very few offensive coordinators affect the whole football team unless they're the head football coach and they're the OC at the same time. That's my experience. That's what I see. And
he was the guy. He was Dabo's constituent too.
Without a doubt.
Right.
Without a doubt. And so, you look at these schools like Wake and Georgia Tech and Iowa and Utah and it can be done. But now what is the expectation? Well, Oklahoma's expectation is a national champion. So it's a little bit of a tall order. What's Wake's expectation? Let me get to a bowl.
Yeah.
Give me 8-9 wins and get me to a bowl. And that coach has done one hell of a job. And you're not going to look at Jimmy Grove at Wake Forest.
Oh.
He's in the Orange Bowl. He takes that program from the dead. He beats Clemson 2 years in a row and Florida State 2 years in a row. Takes him to the ACC championship, beats Georgia Tech in the championship games, got no business doing it. None. Zero. Okay? And then 2 years later, he goes to the AD and says, hey, we need facilities. We're behind. And the AD fires him. Then they hire Clausen, and Clausen ends up winning. And guess what? Now he understands why Jimmy Grove got fired. Because they were behind in facilities, and he saw that coming, that they can't sustain it to a point. He's done all he could. Now this guy here at Wake, if he has the same kind of year, you get out. You got to win and get out at Wake Forest. And they'll be happy with that. Wake Forest ain't going to be mad as he leaves.
No.
You know why?
No, they'll find the next one.
They're going to find the next one. And they, in the MAC, back in the day in the MAC, Woody Hayes was at Miami of Ohio. Bo Schembechler, all these great coaches that came out of the MAC. Don Nalen was the head coach of Bowling Green.
Don Nalen, yeah.
No president wanted a MAC coach to stay there. Why? They didn't want to pay him. Win and get out. So now I can start at the bottom again, hire some guy, some assistant, some whatever, and now so I don't have to get into the salary structure war. I'm going to give you the opportunity to go and improve your salary is going to be made someplace else. It ain't going to be made here. Okay. What you do here will determine your salary and your future, but here's what we'll give you. So that's it. But these guys, I think these guys at these schools they're doing a great job. And what's sad is, they may be left behind in all this when it's all said and done. When this realignment crap, what Wake's Forest? Where is Wake going to be?
It's hard to believe they're going to be. Yeah, I don't see it happening. I know. I'm with you. I think sadly that's going to happen to schools like that, to programs. Like
it is, and then they do he's done a fantastic. He came from Washington State and won, and he 1 year he goes in there and wins 9. And it wasn't like Wake is coming off conference championships.
No, they picked dead last.
Yeah. And then UVA, the job that they did quietly, very quietly.
I know.
They're picked bottom. They're right with Wake Forest preseason.
They were.
And next thing you know, they're 11-1 for God's sakes. It's crazy.
It is crazy. So,
well, there are people doing more with less, and it's not the amount of money you have. Because just look at Clemson and Florida State.
That's right.
It's not the money you have. It's who you're spending it on.
Correct. Valuation. I saw a great article about that. I wish I would have sent it to you. I've got to try to find it again about that. It was talking about that. It's now become a crutch to a lot of programs,
Well, you look at a guy like Todd Grantham, and I'm biased about it because I know what he can. I know who he is. I've, worked with him, and oh my God. And
he sent 63 guys to the draft, Coach.
Yeah.
63 guys to the NFL that played under him.
No, listening to him now, put all this together. It's like there's so much confidence in terms of, and that's how he was as a coach. He's a smart, tough guy. That's what he was. He was a smart, tough guy. And that's why I loved him. I was a tough guy, but I wasn't very smart. He was a whole lot smarter than I was. And, but he's got this thing nailed down. I will not be sure. He may win 6-5 games. I don't know, but they will be a whole lot. But let me tell you what, the people that play them, they're not going to want to play them 2 weeks in a row.
Right.
That's how I look at it, defensively. That's just like my guy out of New Mexico, Spence Nowinski, the D coordinator out there.
Yeah.
He's a friend of mine. When they get through playing him, I don't care who. He's turned down more jobs than you could shake a stick at. Southern Cal, he turned Southern Cal down. Turned him down, D coordinator, which I said smart. But every time they get New Mexico, people that played, whether it was Michigan, Minnesota in the bowl, people in the Power Four, they would just rave. They say, we will not want to play you again.
Yeah, it's not going to be a home and home.
Yeah. That's just like back in the day when, your ultimate, to me, I always said my ultimate compliment is when you played somebody, win or lose, they were sure to lose the next week because you took so much out of them physically that, like, you played Oklahoma back in the day when Stoops was there, win or lose, you got a chance to lose the next week. You're so beat up physically.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's a great point, though. Thinking about it all like that. And I don't know. That kind of thing always brings you back to, you think about that and what it's all about and those types of coaches that are still out there. And I hope we're not losing that because of the money era, the big money era. I hope that.
The people that, Rick, I'll say, if you are, you're going to be fine. You're not going to last. And you ain't got 2 years. You ain't got a year to fix it anymore or 2 years to fix it. And don't forget high risk, high reward. Coaches' salaries are real high. Yeah, great. Well, you used to have 5 years to turn a program around. Look at Frank Beamer. Come on now. Today you ain't got 5. You got maybe 3, 2 to 3, and no more than 3 to get this thing turned. And I was fortunate when we were at Virginia Tech. We squeezed 2 years of work into one in '93.
Yeah, you did.
Another guy that when you look at all the great, listening to you guys talking about the great quarterbacks of Virginia Tech, the X factor was Ricky Bussell. He was the X factor. He did a great job evaluating them.
Great coach.
You talk about evaluating players in that position and developing players in that position. If you think Druckenmiller was a first-round draft choice when he got to Virginia Tech, I'll kiss your ass.
Yeah, that's right. 100%. 100%. Yeah.
He turned Maurice DeShazo, all due respects, love you, Maurice, but he wasn't Sean Moore.
No.
But he turned him into one hell of a college quarterback.
He did. I love DeShazo, man. Yeah.
And Ricky, and you look at Druckenmiller, you look at Brian Randall, you look at all the, Al Clark, the guys that he was able to evaluate them, bring them in the program, and develop them. And he was one hell of a defensive back coach. I thought he was one of the best quarterback coaches that I've been around ever in terms of the productivity and how they performed as unselfish. He's the most unselfish offensive coordinator I've ever been around. It was about the team. It wasn't about him and his stats and, trying to get a head job someplace, because of his offense.
Right.
He was a very unselfish guy. I loved him. Great coach. Great person.
Great coach.
Great recruiter.
Yeah, he is.
That's another thing. You talk about recruiter. Man, he could recruit, man. He was a bulldog. But those things aren't going to change, Rick. They're still not going to change. Again, to me, coaches, I got to find people who can, we've got the money. Okay, how are you spending it? How are you spending that money? Who are you spending it on?
That's what it's going to come down to. Yeah.
And it's going to be very easy to determine whether we should keep you as a coach now more than ever before.
More than ever, yeah.
When you got
sorry,
Tyrone Jones is not performing, and here's the shame of it. I've heard you talk about this, but here's the shame of it, Rick. I love Brent. I'm close to Brent. Hell, like I said, I played with his daddy at Fair. But the problem was, come on, bring somebody else in. At least bring somebody else in. Make that effort to bring someone else in and compete. Okay? No. And never happened. Just never happened. A one-horse show right there and put all his marbles in. Now, if they did, or maybe they couldn't get them, but that comes back down to quarterback coach, OC, evaluating. It was too much. It was like way too much invested in a guy that the productivity was not very good when it was all said and done.
Agreed. Well, Coach, before we let you go, we're going to do some peer pressure here. There's Jen, the Gamecock girl, who has not yet committed to July 18th. Coach, it's all you now. You got to come on. You got to motivate this kid.
Let me tell you what now. If Jen doesn't show up, my wife Janet, she probably won't come.
Oh, that's kind of sweet. I'd love to meet Janet. I'd love to meet
I know. So I mean, if she ends up being the only woman there now, I'm in trouble.
Well, I'm sad that you're in South Carolina and I've never met you in person.
Well, I know. Well, see, I had to take shag lessons to marry Janet. Okay. So she's in the shag world. She's should be in the shag Hall of Fame. Well, I'm in the jock world. So it was jock world meets shag world. Mm-hmm. So I told her, I said, well, this is going to be a jock party. So, tape your ankles on this one. But so you got to show up, Jen. You got to show up. Not to put the pressure on.
Okay, I'll try. It's just this time of year, my plans are uncertain. I need to.
Well, let me tell you what I used to tell my players. The word try better never be in your dictionary.
Oh.
Get it out of your dictionary.
Yeah, what's wrong with you? There you go.
I had a player call me up the other day, Father's Day. A guy named Mark Oglesby, his brother Ike was a great player at North Carolina back in the 70s before you were born. But he called me up for Father's Day, wishing me a happy Father's Day. I said, "What?" He goes, "Oh no, you were my dad." And that's another story. But he talked about how he raised his children on one thing I used to tell the players: try, can't, free, and easy. Take those words and get them out of your dictionary. Because if you have them in your dictionary, you ain't gonna make it. Not in this program.
Okay.
All right, Jen. There you go.
I like him getting coached up and getting prepared for the game day of July 18th. I appreciate that. I will try.
Yeah, I know. If you can't, come on back to your roots. Get back to your roots, right?
Well, I love it out there, but I was just there, and it's not a short trip. It's 8-hour round trip. So
from Columbia, it's 5.5 hours for me.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't have a problem with it. Coach doesn't have a problem with it.
You have a
just get up.
Right.
You just hit Route 77, head north, right?
You have somebody who rides with you. I am probably solo, but it's just more of a mission.
That's why they got rest stops. And guess
You
what?
should be coming, Coach Elmo. You should be coming to a Gamecock game and coming to the condo and hanging out here.
Oh, Coach, you got to go.
I've gone to the last 3 years. I've gone to spring practice. Torian Gray. I coached Torian Gray at Virginia.
Okay. Yeah.
And Coach Shane. So I've been to spring practice the last 3 years in a row. There's a buddy of mine here who's got a band, Jeb McMillan. The Jeb Mack Band is a great band. And he is a huge Gamecock fan. And so we go to practice. I take him to practice. He loves it. I said, "Hey, walk around here. Just don't get hit. Just, make yourself at home." And they treat me great. I went in, let you go. I went into the defensive back meeting, and I've been there for the last 3 years. And all the guys, I walk in, "Hey, Coach, hey, good to see you again." I said, "Hey, you some bitches better win this year. I want to come back next year." They're laughing at me. So.
Well, this is the year that really.
Yeah, you think?
So.
Well, they'll get Lenora straight. They still got a quarterback that if you're a defensive coordinator, you don't want to play against this guy.
Yeah.
You could lose your job with this guy. He's that kind of talent. He's a great kid.
Mm-hmm.
So hopefully they'll have all this. It's just a tough league, but hey, part of it.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go.
All right,
nice
Coach.
meeting you.
Hey, have a great weekend, man. Thanks for coaching up Will and Jen. There you go. Some Coach Elmo motivation for both to be at the bat.
Hey, why not? Come on now.
You're always a great recruiter. I'm recruiting you now. I'm using you as a recruiter now for the bat.
Still got it, Rick. Trust me.
You still got it. Oh, I know. I know you do.
You've seen Janet. You haven't met her yet, but you've seen her.
I have. Yeah, you are. You are.
You guys with your Janets. I would love to meet both of your Janets.
I think they're both going to be there. Karen's going to be there, Morris's wife. So, see, it's going to be plenty of female.
Let me tell you, if she walks in there and she's the only woman in the room, I am in deep, you know what.
All right, Jen, you got to come to help keep Coach Elmo out of the.
All right, take care.
All right, Coach.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Nice meeting you.
Coach Elmo here on the program. He's great. He's great. Morning, Jed. Jeff says, "Love Coach Elmo coaching you up." See, now you've got Coach. I mean, come on. You're going to let Coach Elmo down? You're going to supposedly South Carolina, you had a football school, football conference, and you're going to sit there and not let Coach coach you up? You're just going to ignore your coaching? Is that what you're going to
do? Do you want to sponsor my trip home? Or what are you doing to help with this?
I provide you your outlet to where people never forget how special you are from where you came from.
Oh, okay.
all those zeros behind your salary. Come on.
So many zeros.
What's your July look like overall? Do you have a bunch of travel? I mean, well, heck, you always do. Silly question. How much travel do you have in July?
Well, with Carolina Crown now, that's a consideration. because
how'd
the
that
drum
go?
corps is very active in July. I mean, that huge. It was fabulous. Their show is my favorite production.
Did you win?
Done since I've been involved with them.
Did you win?
It was an exhibition type performance, and so they start competition around this time of year, and the productions evolve. All the different drum corps create some different little twists in their production through the summer. And then Indianapolis, which I go to every time, first week of August is when they have a series of the competition. That is the world competition. And it concludes on finals, like usually around August 8th. I can't remember the date this year. So it's very intense in July. So that's part of my hesitation, is because I'm going to be potentially hanging out with
So like a preseason game. You had like a preseason game. You're playing exhibition games, and now you're ready for the regular season.
Correct. Yes. That's what we were doing at Gardner Webb. We had 4 weeks of preparing.
Preparing.
Because it's a lot. Like we have to feed them about 8,000 calories a day because they are rehearsing so much in the hot sun. And we have athletic trainers. We have a whole staff of people to keep them healthy. It's not marching band like most people think of marching band. It's way, way more intense than that.
It's an intense thing, is what you're telling me. Very intense.
Yes. Like usually the members lose about 20 or 30 pounds in a month.
Wow,
they call
really?
it poor diet. Yeah. I mean, it's no joke.
Wow, that's impressive.
It is. It's very impressive.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, if you haven't seen it before, it blows your mind. There's a show in Salem end of July. I don't know I can't remember the date, but that is worth seeing. If you've never seen drum corps, definitely it's something you take the kids to go out, check it out, because it's an impressive thing.
Are you watching the World Cup at all?
I have been here and there, and I was trying to dabble in some betting on it because it was entertaining and fun to invest emotionally and
go with draws.
But
go with the draw. Go with the draw at all times. Go with the draw.
Well, I just thought it was. I was with my male guy, who's Vietnamese, but he's an American citizen. And he is really into soccer big time. So we spent my appointment talking all about it. He was coaching me on some good bets to make. So he's a good insider source of info. What about you? Are you watching it? Are you into it?
No, I won't say that I'm into it. Did I watch USA and Australia last week? Yeah, I watched quite a bit of that, And then I didn't watch any of it last night because it's too late and they lost. Okay, they were resting people. They've already advanced anyway. I think what I get tired is the pretentiousness of world soccer fan. Like they try to almost like make Americans feel guilty that we're not just naturally drawn into their sport, that if we're not educated or we don't get it. No, we get it. That's why we feel the way we do about it. It's not like we don't understand. I've called many soccer games for 25 years. There's not this intricate part of soccer that I don't understand. It's just never going to be the mass appeal to American sports fan. And that's okay. Just like American football, which I write about today in my column in The Patriot, a little cross promotion there, is not for the rest of the world in most cases. They might dabble in it. They might show up for the games that are in England or Germany or Spain. Okay, that's great. Wear your little jersey. Got my Patrick Mahomes jersey, America. Look at that. But it doesn't mean you're going to get totally entwined in it. It's okay. It's a cultural thing. And soccer here is never going to be a cultural thing. It's okay. It's okay.
Well, some of the band people and I were talking, and of course, there's no marching band presence in soccer. And so, we were all kind of like, because of that is an element for us it's not a hook for us because there's none of that happening. But it is kind of a slow sport. Like, obviously, if you're really into it, I'm sure you don't perceive it that way. But in comparison to.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
to what we're used to. Maybe it says something about our attention span. I don't know. I mean, it's just, yeah, what you were joking about, the draw, always bet on the draw. It's not in our nature as Americans. We're so competitive and like all that excitement and action.
Well, people always ask me, why do they make such a big deal out of scoring? They take their shirt off or they slide. I said, because they're shocked that they've actually scored. They can't believe it. Oh my Lord, we have no more zeros on the board. Who knew?
Yeah, I get that. I mean, one of my friends is going to a game down in Miami, and he was trying to convince me to take a road trip with him and go. And I just was like, I got no interest, and certainly I'm not going to spend $1,000 to do that. You know, it's just if it were a different price point, I might be more into trying it out, but not for that price point.
Correct. Yeah. You wouldn't even, would you even do that for your football team? I don't know. That's a lot of money. Yeah.
I've done way dumber things for the Gamecocks and Washington both. So in terms of financial, I've done I have so much money, and it's always justified by that. Well, I don't have kids, so whatever. All this money.
I'm just tired of the rest of the world and people who are in this country against America, trying to make America apologize for its culture. You know, we're about to have our 250th anniversary. It's the greatest nation in the history of this orb. And I'm afraid it's going to become this. Let's talk as much crap as we can about America. Hey, you know, that's what it's going to turn into. And the media will feed that. You know, I just get tired of us always being reminded, that people trying to remind us, that tell us how bad America is. It just gets on my nerves. But anyway.
I understand that. No one wants to be in a position to feel we have to constantly apologize for who they are. Gosh, now you're giving me PTSD because I'm thinking about bad relationships I've been in where I felt like I have to constantly apologize. Like, sorry, I'm going to be gone this whole weekend watching football and doing this and doing that. And the guy would be all pouty. That's tiresome. Nobody wants to live like that.
No, well, see, that's because you've just been with some lemons. You've gone to the used car shop. You've gotten this great sales pitch, and you've brought it in, and that's what's happened. When the dude pulls out the weight scale, and when the dude starts asking you about, was college football really that important, you've made a bad decision at the car lot. That's all.
Well, you know, at this point in my life, being the age that we are, I'm going to say we collectively because you're in the same range. It's kind of like Big Lots out there. You're dating some returns, some things that maybe were no longer made for a reason, some weird stuff that maybe came flawed in the package. You know, there's some stuff going on.
Big Lots. I like
it's like Big Lots for humans. I mean, I'm there, so I can't really say that much.
I like that. That's good.
Yeah, it's not. You're not shopping at Nordstrom at that point. You're in a different quality level.
Well, you could be shopping at Nordstrom, but you're kind of, you know.
I try to shop at Nordstrom. I appreciate Nordstrom very much, the experience, and like sometimes they have a beautiful grand piano and someone playing it as you're walking around looking at merchandise. It's so clean and neat and tidy.
You know what the key floors. If you want to have a success, you know, and I know you, so I don't think you're not just sitting there saying, oh, I have to have my person at this point. But if you ever decide you do, I think your biggest, you know what you should do? You know what the best advice I could give you would be? If you're like, oh, okay, this feels a little different, but I'm not sure. Send him to me. I can let him know everything to do and not do regarding you going forward, and everything will be fine. You watch. That's all you need to do. Oh, contact this person, please, and just give me 5 minutes. Just give me 5 minutes.
Well, one of the biggest things is I'm not running a sugar mama operation, which
I know.
And that is not my desire. I want someone who can run with me. I'm not looking for a sugar daddy necessarily.
Sugar mama.
You got to be prepared to run in the race by your own means. And I'm not supporting that. So.
Well, you are hanging out in the retirement community down there when you go visit Holly. So I'm not so sure. Maybe you are looking for that.
No, that's not Holly. That's my.
Oh, yeah. That's your family.
which, that's family. That's different.
Yeah, there's no way if you and Holly walk around that place, there's no way you're both not walking out of there not engaged. Hey, look what happened. I don't know.
Well, Holly and I are just grateful. We were having a little chat the other day about how society's standards of what's attractive, how those standards have changed over the years, because we grew up, a little on the meaty side. We're not skinny people. And we're just so grateful now there's appreciation for that.
Nobody wants skinny. Nobody wants skinny. It's just the grossest look. Yeah.
It's great. It's a lot better than the Kate Moss era when we were growing up. We both were traumatized from all that. So
what is it you call the when you see a guy ribbing out? That's what I like. Ribbing out. Don't be ribbing out.
I don't need any ribbing out men who are like constantly worried about what they're eating and discussing it and then looking at my food and judging. I don't need all that. So,
correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Are you available next week? I'm planning on doing a show on the 3rd. Are you out and about on the 4th?
I don't think so. I don't think I can do next week. Is that going to be a big problem?
No, that's what I'm just asking now. Okay. I'm just asking you. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll figure something out. I just want to find out now. I'll disappoint.
I don't want to get replaced permanently by Elmo, though. I'm worried. Like, if I don't show up, then you're going to replace me.
I think you need to worry if you ever tune into an old show and you see I have another musician female on in your spot, and then they're actually coming through and playing what they say they're going to do.
Oh.
Then you should be concerned.
What if he's a Clemson person? That would be really, really personal.
Oh, what if What if you were somebody got wind to you and you were watching an old show and you found she had a Clemson hat on? She was a brunette with a Clemson hat on, and she played what's the rival instrument to the saxophone? What is the
There is no rival because saxophone is the voice of God. So there's no rival.
And she was just this killer trombone player.
She played Tiger Rag on the trombone pretty well.
Oh, and you're
that would be the right instrument for that.
That's not going to happen. You're completely irreplaceable, Jen.
She could be from Blacksburg High School.
Oh yeah, a Cowboys fan from Blacksburg High School, who's a Clemson alum.
He plays trombone. I'd like
trombone.
Getting very specific.
Who doesn't really like jazz music.
That's the worst. I had a date with a guy one time who was so condemning from the start how much he hated jazz music. I'm out.
Really? He hated jazz?
Even the cheesy jazz that most people bring out, the smooth jazz kind of thing. Yeah. He even hated that, which usually that's what people will open with, oh, I love Kenny G and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, Kenny G. Oh.
Well, yeah, it's not my favorite, as you know, but usually that's what people will bring up as their example of amazing jazz. So if you don't even like that, then you don't like jazz at all.
Kenny G is the Dave Matthews of pop rock music. Oh my Lord.
Dave Matthews is talented. Well, Kenny G's talented, but you're just doing stuff that you and I aren't feeling.
Huh? You don't like Dave Matthews?
No, I mean, it's not my thing, but I appreciate he's talented and he's got good musicians with him.
No, he's not. He's not talented.
Oh, you don't know.
No, he's not.
What's that song? Is
no, I'm not. No, have you heard me sing my songs? No. Huh?
Is it called Crush? I don't know his music that well. He's got some good stuff. And that sax player he had, did he pass away?
His band, the band part is just fine. It's when he decides to interact with the track.
Yeah.
That's when it goes sideways.
I get it. I mean, I'm pretty intense with my music love, but his fans are kind of cultish, like the Grateful Dead fans and people like that who get real oh yeah, I've seen that group 70 times, whatever. I don't know if I'm one of those people.
And now he's one of these toolboxes that can't shut the hell up about his politics, that we just entertain. We don't care. You're not influencing anybody. We don't care. We just don't care. So.
Sometimes saying less is more.
Correct.
I mean, I don't know. I think I'm kind of tired about hearing everybody's politics. Candidly, I just really want to talk more like as humans about other stuff.
Low Country says you should have taken him to the Forte or Commodore in Christiansburg High School. You know what that means?
Taken to the what? It's
Forte or Commodore. It's CHS. I don't know.
I'm missing something. Is that a young person? Maybe they're speaking about something that I missed.
I don't know. I figured it was just something about Christiansburg High School you may have known about. I don't know.
Forte.
Yeah, how can anyone hate jazz? Jeff asked the same question. How can anybody hate jazz?
I don't understand that. I don't know. That was the beginning and the end for that audition. Particular young man auditioning. Strike.
Yeah. Well, let me know one way or the other, but you say you're probably out next week?
Yeah, I don't think that's going to work. Also, I wanted to tell you, did you know we're renovating the stadium? Have you been seeing all my propaganda about that?
I have not. I don't get your personal propaganda anymore. You didn't ever readjust it after I got hacked.
Okay. Well, I just want to make the point that you need to come back because Williams-Brice is going to be really looking good when we're ready for the season to start. It's going to be some hotness going on here.
Going to be very attractive when you're back in the head coaching market going into 2027. It'll be great. Oh, I'm sorry.
Maybe I prefer politics to that.
But listen, you be good. I guess we'll talk to you in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Are you going to miss me a lot, you think?
Well, yeah. I mean, we're going to go into Friday, and I'm just going to be like, no Jen this week.
And
still
then
no saxophone.
See you crying while you're asleep. You'll be crying in bed, and Janet will wake you up. Honey, are you okay?
She'll know. Like, I won't have to say anything. She'll go, that's right. Jen's not there this week, right? Yeah.
Try to get through it. I know you're a newlywed, and I don't want to spoil that time for you. So I apologize to you and Janet for not being able to do that.
Wayne says the best thing about South Carolina is the use of the Ric Flair intro. Do you use the Space Odyssey song?
Mm-hmm.
2001 Space Odyssey?
You would know if you came to a game.
That's true. Well, why don't you have Ric Flair? Shouldn't Ric Flair be leading the team out? What are you doing?
He's not in good health right now.
Well, when he has been, though, you should have done that years ago. You should have been out there you could have had him in one of his famous robes, draped in South Carolina garnet and black, and have him just out there. Oh, now see, that's just a missed opportunity right there.
Yeah, he's definitely not capable of doing all that right now, based on.
Yeah, I know. Well, he's getting on up there a little bit, and plus his body went through hell while he was ruling the ring. So I get it. Mm-hmm. Well, have a good weekend and have a good next weekend, and we'll see you on the 11th, I guess, or the 10th, I guess.
Okay, we'll talk.
We'll talk between you and me. Yeah. We'll get together. Things are going to move. We won't just cut it off. I
can't be without you that long. So
that's too long. Yeah, we can't. What are we talking about? Come on, that's 10. That's 12. That's almost just 2 weeks. No, that can't happen.
And then the thing on the 18th is at what time? Just so I can try to.
6 p.m. at the Super Bowl. Your old digs in Christiansburg. You can hang out with some old peeps. We're right there. You know where it is. We're right there. Cross some lows.
I've had some good times at that place.
Great place. You should see all the improvements they've done. It's unreal.
Do they still have pinball?
Yeah, they got a whole game room.
Okay.
And the lights will be out. It's going to be glow-in-the-dark bowling. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Yeah. And Morris is buying everybody's drinks. It makes it even better.
Oh, no, you did not tell me that.
So there you go.
So that's good. That's a step away from sugar mama having to buy everything for everybody.
Morris is your sugar daddy. Yes, for the
That's
more
like what I'm talking about. That's a good
There
start.
we go. There we go. See, that's all it took. That's all it took, Morris, was you to be identified as her sugar daddy. There you go. You're in.
Like all the young guys in the world now have this vision of dating a cougar and having everything paid for.
That's true.
The current trend, and
that's a good point. Yeah,
I'm not scared of you young guys, but I don't really want to pay for everything.
No, I understand. All right. Well, have a good weekend, and you and I will talk. Although you won't talk to our crowd here for another couple of weeks. So.
Okay, deal.
All right. Be good. Be proud. Love you. Be safe.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.
Bye.
Bye. To the Gamecock girl. Not going to be with us next week, but we'll have her back. And I think it's starting to trend in a positive direction for her in the bash. All right. So we're about done today. Thanks to our sponsors who we talked about throughout the program today. Thanks to you. Thanks to all of our crew, Will Stewart, Coach Elmo, Jen. I think I'm going live tonight. If you want to stop by 7 o'clock, what the hell? Might be drinking this glass. We may have something else in it tonight. We're going to talk. We're going to talk movies, pop culture. We're going to get the Big Dog Pop tonight in a different variety. So if you want to come by, let me know. You can come on with us, or we can just talk and chat. Whatever you want to do. Dwight, I think, is going to stop by as well. So we'll do that tonight at 7. We're going to go live here on the program, heading into the weekend. Oh, 2 drink tickets. I'm sorry. I didn't want to say that to Jen, though, Morris, because, I needed all the enticing I could get. So we may have to put her in a different category. All right, everybody. Thank you. Great week. Appreciate everyone. I hope you have a good weekend and stay safe. And we'll see you tonight. If not, we'll see you on Monday here on the live show. Take care.